In 2014, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer that had spread to my abdomen, crushing my kidney. These are the top 5 albums that helped me win the battle of a lifetime. Stick around to the end for a secret bonus track and honorable mentions. Number 5 goes to Seether, Isolate and Medicate.
The title of this record is almost too on the nose. Wow. Isolate and Medicate also may have had the best single selection of all time, because I usually go for the deep cuts, but not with this record. Nobody's Praying for Me is an intense roller coaster ride, and I took it in to escape the pain so many times in 2014. Thank you, Seether. I'm wheezing like an old man done.
Number 4, Transgender Dysmorphia Blues.
I actually went to an Against Me concert right before being diagnosed, and I remember being in so much pain at the show. My kidney was mush in my gut, and there I was, letting the adrenaline of Laura Jane Grace and company wash over me like a pineapple bath. And as I had one testicle removed, this album and its themes stayed with me in a different way than most men can relate to. Fortunately, I was going through a bodily transition of sorts, and this powerhouse rock record really lifted my spirits in a way that nothing else in the world can. Dead Rats absolutely is a must listen. It makes me feel something like no other song in the universe. Laura, I love you. I love your music.
Number 3, Everything Will Be Alright in the End.
Talk about relevant titles. Weezer's Return to Form album also came during my witching hour, and Weezer has spirit-lifting abilities like no other band, particularly with Da Vinci and Foolish Father. Those two guys rock my socks off. I'm wheezing like an old man done.
Number 2, Sonic Highways.
When you're doing chemo, it's hard to do much else. And I was in bad shape, watching a lot of TV, which is out of character for me, what with all the music listening and all. I started watching the Sonic Highways documentary with my dad, and we both enjoyed that from what I remember inside a dense chemo fog. You know what I'm talking about? I know Foo fans are divided on the album, but it rocks hard, and Congregation gave me a spiritual overhaul that my poisoned soul needed desperately. God, thank you for the Foo Fighters. Now my life is in your hands.
And finally, the number 1 album that helped me defeat cancer.
At my sickest, I was not supposed to be driving, but I had to get a hold of this release. Reckless and dangerous as it may have been, but that's rock and roll. Slipknot released their Gray Chapter while I was being poisoned to death, and I couldn't wait for a ride to the store. So I snuck out and somehow survived a trip to Best Buy while about 90% dead.
Pretty heavy metal of me, if I do say so myself. Now, it's safe to say that when you have cancer, there is a lot of anger there. And while I never ask why, there was a real kind of a sad fury just in all of me. And with the passing of Paul Gray mixed with the kind of insanity that sort of circulates in the Slipknot sphere, I just had an intuition about this record.
Songs like XIX, Sarcastrophe, AOV, and Skeptic helped me process a possible death sentence and also, oddly enough, make peace with it. The band was dealing with their loss of Paul Gray, and I was dying of cancer. It fit. We are your kind. I blew my voice out, screaming along to every pain word that Corey sang. Gray Chapter gave me therapy sessions that no doctor or shrink ever could.
It was physical, mental, and spiritual, and that release ultimately got me into a good headspace to overcome death itself for a little while. Those were the top 5 albums that helped me beat cancer, and now we have one song that stood out to me individually during my cancer battle. It was a few years old in 2014, but I came across it and it became one of my anthems while sitting around taking pills and puking and kicking cancer's ass. Bad Religion with Wrong Way Kids, which in addition to being emotionally devastating in a good way, it also wins the award for best use, are you ready for this, of the millennial whoa-oh-ohs. Bad Religion fans, you know it as the oohs and ahs. If you are struggling with any issue in life, try leaning into music and see how much it helps you process and even understand what you're going through. As a thank you for watching this video, I'm going to leave you with a list of even more songs to get you through the hardest of times. Thank you.